Hello, hello, hello. Antphrodite here, your pop culture psychic, back to you again with another reading. This time it's going to be on hell. Is hell real or made up? So if you haven't seen my reading that I did on heaven, I'll put a link to it up here. And I've also done a reading on the devil and whether that's real or not. So I'll put a link to it up there. But I've never specifically looked at hell, although I kind of touched on it a little bit in previous videos. Let's just tackle it right head on. So remember, these readings all at different tapers only, and let's get started. If you like these, please join the YouTube members. It's linked down below. $5, $10, or $15 tier. You get access to exclusive readings you won't get anywhere else. Pick a cards, celebrity readings. You can win a reading from me, and there's a Discord that I'm in all the time. Join button down below. All right. I want to see if we can get into the energy of what it is first. It's an isolation. Okay. The Hangman is about not wanting to let go. The Nine of Pentacles is like an individual card. It's yourself. And the Hermit is isolation. Self-punishment. So the Seven of Swords is someone who was who was victorious under any circumstance. So think of that as someone that did anything they could to get what they wanted. Now we're looking at in a toxic way with the Three of Cups, putting themselves for others, being selfish, taking things for granted. You're looking at someone who maybe is a little bit morally gray, right? Or morally corrupt, right? Makes sense. We're talking about hell. The Eight of Cups is about running away from your problems or walking away from your problems. And then the Three of Cups also indicates a comparison of yourself to other people. To me, the feeling that I'm feeling is shame. I feel a ton of shame. I see someone hanging their head in shame and not wanting to look at themselves. It's almost like they refuse to look at their reflection. They refuse to look at their life review. There's a fear. Look at that. The moon is reversed. There's a fear of the truth. The Chariot is about stopping and not going somewhere, doing something. It's almost like if you stopped yourself and refused to cross over because you're afraid to confront your karma. King of Swords. King of Swords would be like the selfishness, the ambitiousness that ended up doing something, morally corrupt or gray. The acts of which you put yourself before others. Hell is not a place, it's a state of being. Four of Wands, it's not a physical place, it's a place of being, it's a state of being. Four of Cups is a detachment. So you're detached from everyone else. And the Eight of Cups is about a slow process. It's like if I refuse to go into the light and stayed earthbound. Is Earth hell? Remaining on Earth, is that hell? Being afraid to face the truth. I mean, I definitely see somebody who guards something, but I've seen that in my past reading on the devil, so I won't go super into that. But the Hierophant is reversed. That's I won't follow through. I won't do what I need to do. There's an avoidance of doing what you have to do. Especially with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, inconsistencies in the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords would be about like opportunities, and it's inconsistent. I won't complete the task that I need to complete. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to handle it. Justice is reversed. The things that I did that were unfair or unruly, the things that I did that, caused problems, the things that were toxic or negative. Nine of Swords and Magician. I refuse to learn. I refuse to talk about it. I refuse to acknowledge it. Nine of Swords, it remains in my head and drives me crazy. Hell is a state of being where you're driving yourself insane because you're fearful to face the truth. I believe that people who are corrupt themselves further. I remember I saw like humans turning into demons and things like that and being disfigured. It's self-punishment. It's like going deranged. So it's being equated to me like being homeless. When someone's homeless, right, they become frazzled, they become estranged from everyone, they're wandering around aimlessly. So the equation here is that people who are in hell refuse to do what they need to do to cross over, or refuse to do what they need to do to evolve, and they get stuck and they wander aimlessly. That's what it's kind of being equated to me towards. It's like your soul is homeless. You're hardened. Because I see someone trying to touch something and they can't touch it. And they can see, they can physically see other people being happy, but they can't access it. It's like they can physically see another world, but they don't have access to it because they're unable to face their truth. It's like I see the reflection in the water and they're trying to touch it, but they can't go into it. And they see another soul go right into it who's more innocent, lighthearted, free. It's like if everybody around me is able to float up into happiness, but I'm stuck and grounded. Something's anchoring me. My soul is anchoring me. My guilt is anchoring me. My shame is anchoring me. Wondering if wandering earthbound souls are stuck in hell. Purgatory and hell might be one and the same or somewhat similar. I don't know. Did not expect to see this. King of Cups reversed. The Sun and the Queen of Cups. So our experience on Earth is supposed to allow us to connect to other people, allow us to feel other people, empathize with other people. Everything we do on Earth is supposed to strengthen our souls and our bond towards each other. So the people who either sever those bonds or ignore those bonds, they're the ones that are suffering in this hell state. It's a state of being. I do think you can get out of it. I don't think a lot of people do. The lack of human interaction, the lack of human connection is what sets you into this spiral, into the state of being. So whether that be because you were hurting other people or because you neglected other people, it's a state of isolation. Think of it like your soul being depressed on an extreme level. I keep seeing the fact that we have free will. I think what scares people when they die is that a lot of people have this vision of burning hell, right? King of Wands reverse, 5 of Wands reverse, and 10 of Wands. I want to avoid hell, right? So when they die, they get scared that they're going to burn alive and whatever. But what they don't realize is that when they die, they're shown a choice. And they are more in control than they realize. Everything you do is a choice. Where you end up is a choice. It's from your own actions. There's not a big bad that's going, you're going to burn for all eternity, you're a horrible person. There's a reflection of yourself and your choices, and you put yourself where you belong. Now, I know some of you are like, well, what if someone was narcissistic? And then they're like, well, I don't deserve any of that. I don't deserve any of that. I don't feel like the human-bound traits and feelings exist on the other side, because I'm seeing someone who was shown as greedy, selfish, destroyed a lot of lives to gain a lot of money, very vain. I see them crossing over, and I see them losing the ability to be numb. So when you have lost the ability to be numb, which is what they were utilizing to stomp on everyone to get ahead, you suddenly feel the weight of 50 plus years of horrible acts you've done to others into yourself. You're feeling everyone else's feelings for the first time. So your punishment is to feel again. Because these people who do bad things, they're numb, they don't feel. And once I give you your feelings, It reminds me of, I don't know if any of you Charmed fans. There's an episode in season 2 where they go into the future and Phoebe has the ability to kill people with her empath power. It's explained further in the comics. If you ever watch comics, I'm a huge Charmed fan. So basically, she projects your emotions back onto you and it causes internal chaos that could destroy you. That's kind of what I'm seeing hell is. Balancing back all, think about it, right? Let's say someone like literally ruined so many people, millions of people's lives over and over again consciously. Like that was their purpose because they wanted to get ahead because they were numb and didn't feel it. Imagine if all of those millions of people's pain was projected onto you immediately at the same time. That's hell, a state of being. And what scares them is that there is no punishment. There is only feeling. Like the punishment, the rehabilitation is you feeling everything. So the scariest thing is yourself. It's not being eternally burned alive or tortured. It's being mirrored. A second you, essentially, looking back at you and doing to you what you did to others. It's a mirror. I'm being shown a mirror. Lots of mirrored imageries. There's like water and a reflection. There's mirrors. It's all mirrored back to you. There's a commentary here about celebrity too, and I can't quite figure it out, but I might do a reading on this if you're interested. But I'm seeing a lot of people who are popular, famous, right? And I'm seeing that be a life lesson. Something to do with the connection you share to other people. And that's not necessarily just the impact you have. It's not like, oh, you have a big platform, you have to use it for good. That's too simple. It has to do with your ability to connect to so many people. Something to do with your soul's ability to connect to so many people. There's something special about that. And I can't quite figure that out. But anyways, because I'm seeing like people who are famous and then when they cross over, seeing how their energy was more impactful to those around them than others. They have a different frequency. I don't know if their punishment is harsher. I can't tell, but there's a different frequency. Death, Tower, and Page of Cups. See, I keep seeing some issue with the reincarnation cycle. Nine of Cups, High Priestess, Reverse, and Judgment. Okay. I know a lot of people have questions about like, well, someone is a horrible human being. Why do they get to be rehabilitated and brought in with us? I will say judgment is a human-bound trait. There is no judgment on the other side. So that's something you need to understand. Morality is a bit different of a concept on there. It's more about reflection. The energy you give comes back to you type of thing. But there's... Oh. What the fuck am I seeing? I've seen this a million times. Okay, I see multiple gods or beings, and I see pieces of them being pulled down and incarnating. And we're all a part of different gods. We're each a part of different gods. There are some that are hybrids, for sure. A little bit of me, a little bit of you. And I do think that sometimes the hybrids don't work out. My energy and your energy mixed together didn't work out. it's like a failed experiment. So some people failed experiment, but there's one being, and I cannot see it. It looks gray and kind of black. It looks like vines or like a serpent intertwined. It's like braids. It's like a gray, blackish, maybe it's purplish. I can't tell, but it's like it's like grayed out. It's like vines, but it might be a serpent just like tied together. It's like two braids tied together, and it might be a double serpent head. I'm wondering if this is where the serpent came from. And it's a being. This being, anything that comes from this being, it's weird. It's a woven, braided being, and then it comes like this. I don't know if these are the heads or if this is serpent heads. I'm not sure. This being is different than the others because okay. I want to say this is the negative being, but it's not a negative being because I'm like, oh, so that's the bad being. And I'm seeing nope, there's no such thing as bad being. That being is like a wild card. It's like a joker. It's something about that being doesn't have the same rules as the others. The lesson when you incarnate from that being is different than the others, and it has less rules. It's like a harder path. There's something to do with this one having different rules, and I think a lot of quote-unquote bad seeds come from this being, but it's not on purpose. It's the lesson of like, if we don't instill certain values, if you don't have certain parts of you when you incarnate, what do you become based off of what environment you're around? There's a lesson with this one, and it's a wild card. I do think people who incarnate from this being or have pieces of this being in them have the tendency to steer more towards the morally gray, but there's a reason for that. There's something they're not bound by. There's some sort of emotion or feeling or something. There's something that they don't have on purpose to see if they can handle it. It's like the ultimate test, and a lot of these go haywire. And I also see like a machine, and it's like 4 of each color comes out and only 1 of the darker one, this like grayish one, only 1. It's like 1-4 ratio, but since all these are incarnating, you're looking at like 4, 8, 12, 16. It's almost like 20 people to the, it's a 1 in 20 ratio almost. It's like pops it out. It's the wild card. It's interesting. That person can steer towards leader, but it could also steer towards chaos. And it does pick up and absorb other people's pieces. It's almost like a nurture versus nature. It's like because I see when it's around a bunch of yellow, it becomes more yellow. It's a chameleon. It's a chameleon. That's what I'm seeing. Serpent chameleon. It's a chameleon. What's weird is that when I'm seeing everyone incarnate, I know this is a crazy fucking video. I did not expect it to go this way. This one is a part of a different energy. It's almost like a different galaxy spitting into ours. So all of the other people that are being incarnated, all the other entities that I see incarnating people are forward. This one's all the way in the back. And I feel like this one is one that they try to ignore, but they can't. And one that is not a part of the others. It's almost different. It's almost from a different life, a different galaxy, a different something. And it's permeated into ours. And I see these people, these beings not liking this one, but knowing that there's nothing they can do to stop it or prevent it and its influence. I can't tell if they are neutral to this energy and feel like it needs to exist, or if they don't like it. That I can't tell. But it's different. It's like a different species to the others. I don't know what the fuck I'm seeing, but I'm ending it there. That's the best I can do. Maybe I'll try and elaborate further for the YouTube members if I remember. Because I've been thinking of uploading more membership videos where I talk about my visions more than just pull tarot. So maybe I'll do that for this if you guys want that. The members. I'm going to leave it there. Hit the join button down below to join the YouTube members. Until next time. Bye, guys. I'm actually spooked. The ending kind of scared me, I'm not going to lie.